My experience with old wives' gender tales. When I was pregnant with my first baby, I had this gender scan at 4 months old, and of course, they told me the gender I was carrying, and I wasn't so surprised to hear that I was carrying a baby boy because as soon as I knew I was pregnant, then Google became my best friend. Look, I literally browsed everything about my pregnancy symptoms. Whatever I discovered, whatever was happening with me, I would go straight to my Google and browse everything. So when I was told about my gender being a boy, I wasn't too surprised because from what I have learned on Google, yeah, they told me if your baby bump is high, you're carrying a girl. If your baby bump is low and round, you're carrying a boy. You're carrying it all front, you're carrying a boy. You're carrying it all back, like the whole weight is strained from the back, you're carrying a girl. And those things then made me knew I was carrying a boy, because if you're craving sour taste food, you're carrying a boy. And those were my cravings then. So before the 4 month scan, I already knew I was carrying a boy. And this second pregnancy, just because the first one, I already knew the symptoms I had, and the symptoms I was having this second time were not different from the things I had in my first pregnancy. I wasn't even bothered to go for a scan early because I believed I was still carrying a boy. Yes, I believed I was still carrying a boy because look, in my first pregnancy, there was no sickness. And old wives' gender tale says if you're carrying a boy, you don't fall sick, you feel more stronger, you glow all through. But if you're carrying a girl steals your glow. And I was even glowing more than I was in my first pregnancy. So I believe maybe I'm even carrying twins and I'm gonna have 2 boys the second time. Oh my goodness. And to even crown it up, I was twinning this pregnancy with a friend who was just a week ahead of me in this pregnancy journey. And she always comes telling me she's sick, like her early morning, what do I call it? Morning sickness was so severe and more severe than mine, and that even made me to be very sure. And like a second time mom that I am, I always tell her, I'm sure you're carrying a girl. This is why your own morning sickness is severe. As for me, I believe I'm still carrying a boy because I'm not even feeling anything. Down to 10th week of pregnancy. Before that 10th week, she was already admitted. But me, 10th week of our pregnancy was when I vomited once. On the 10th week was when I vomited once. And that was the last I ever vomited all through my pregnancy. Meanwhile, if you see my friend, look, she changed. She couldn't eat. And I was like, oh, my friend is having a girl while I am having a boy. And when she gave birth a week before I gave birth. She told me she had a girl. I was like, I'm not surprised. Sorry, I am digressing, or I went so fast. Talking about my scan, do I have a gender scan? Even when I thought I knew what I was carrying, yes, I did. To be very, very sure, I did scan 3 times. The first one said it was a girl. The second one said it was a boy. The third one said that they weren't seeing the baby gender. The other sonographer that told me I was carrying a girl. In my mind, I said, you don't even know how to do your job. How am I carrying a girl? I know I'm carrying a boy because of all the symptoms I was having. And I was never sick for a day. So that was that. And down to the day I delivered, seriously, I was not very sure on the baby gender I was going to have. And when my baby came out, I still asked, immediately the baby came out, I asked the nurse, what gender is the baby? They said it's a girl. And I was like, really? So old wives' gender tales can fail somebody. So my dear, if you think you know it all, I thought it more than you. I thought I knew it all about pregnancy already, because this one was my second one. I thought I knew it from the first experience. See, pregnancy will wind me. Let me just tell you, this thing is all about body system. That's what I've come to understand. It's all about body system. During my first son's pregnancy, they said boys' pregnancy don't stress you, but female pregnancy even comes, the way they say it, like it comes with punishment. But in my own case, look, it was just like this. There was no sickness. You wouldn't even believe I'm even pregnant. Meanwhile, my friend was always falling sick. My boy's pregnancy, I was even vomiting more, though not very frequent. I think I thought trimester was when I even started vomiting more seriously. And this one, I vomited just once. I can still recall all through the 9th month, I vomited just once. I vomited just once. The time I was admitted around March was to treat malaria, and aside that, I was never admitted again. I was glowing. I was glowing that I never believed I was going to have a girl. I remember then, anytime I'm live streaming on YouTube, they'll be like, Mama, what gender are you having? What are you even expecting? Okay, I will tell them I don't know the gender I'm really expecting, but anyone that comes, I'm so fine with it. They'll be like, what do you desire? The truth is, I did not so much desire anyone, because one, I already have a boy. If God says he will even give me boys all through, I'm still fine with it. Do you know what you're saying? I don't have a choice of anyone I want to have. As for somebody like me that needs siblings, any kind of gender God gives me, I'm fine with it. And God gave me my younger self. So that is it. If this is your first time on this channel or on my Facebook page, please don't forget to be a part of this family if you love what you are watching. I love you. Bye. I'll see you again in our next video.